Hey everyone, today we are going to learn how to publish WordPress website on AWS EC2 instance. In this video, we are going to cover domain setup, EC2 instance creation, database configuration, WordPress setup, SSL certificate installations, and auto-renewal. Let's begin with the first section, domain setup. Here we'll see how to configure domain in both GoDaddy and AWS Route 53. Please note, if you obtained your domain directly through AWS, then you only need to create a hosted zone in AWS Route 53. For those with the domain in GoDaddy, log into your GoDaddy account, navigate to My Products, and then Domains. Select the domain you want to use for hosting your WordPress website. Click on the DNS section and then in Name Servers. Here we will add the custom name servers created in AWS. Now switch to AWS account. In AWS, go to Route 53 and create a new hosted zone for your domain. Here I am going to create a hosted zone for farmermatrimony.com. Enter domain name, description, select public hosted zone, enter the tag, and click on create hosted zone. AWS will generate 4 name servers for your domain. Now you need to copy this name servers without a dot and add it to your GoDaddy's domain custom name servers. Add all the 4 name servers there. Currently, this domain is not pointing to anywhere, so it's not showing you anything there. Now click on save, continue, and that's it. Your name servers are saved in GoDaddy. You're done there. Now let's create EC2 instance. In your AWS account, select EC2. Make sure you are in a correct region. If not, select the appropriate region. Click on a launch instance. In name, type any name. Here we type my WordPress website. In OS and image, click on Browse More AMI. Select AWS Marketplace AMI. In the search bar, enter WordPress 6.3, which is the latest version at the time of creating this video. Hit enter, and in the result you can see WordPress version 6.3 on Amazon Linux 2023, which is the LTS release by AWS by Vedanta Cloud, and another one is same. The only difference is the first one is for ARM architecture and the second one is for x86 underscore 64-bit architecture. Let's select WordPress 6.3 on ARM processor. On a product detail page, you can see all the packages it's going to install on the instance and their versions. In the uses, you can see a detailed installation instructions. We are going to follow this step by step. This has a free trial, so we can try this product. Let's select and continue to install this on the instance. On a launch instance, page, you can see the AMI is selected. Select the appropriate instance type from the drop-down. Now let's create a new key pair. Enter the key pair name. You will need this SSH key to connect to your instance later. Now click on Create a Key Pair. Save the key safely on your computer. In the network setting, you can create a new security group or select the existing one. I'm selecting the existing security group here. In a storage, you can configure the storage for your instance. In advanced details, you can select various EC2 instance configuration based on your requirement. You can read more about each of these options by clicking on the info link. Once you selected all the required options, you can click on the Launch Instance button. It may take 5 to 10 minutes to get up and running the instance. Click on the instance page, refresh the page. You'll see the current instance is running. You can see its public IP address. Click on the Security tab. On the Security group, check the outbound inbound rules. We need to edit the inbound rules and add the different types HTTP, HTTPS, SSH. As you can see in SSH rule, I have selected source as my IP. This allows the EC2 instance to connect from your machine only. Now save these rules. Now let's connect to your EC2 instance from your machine. In order to connect to EC2 instance, there are various ways depending on which system you are using. If you are using Windows, you can use PuTTY or OpenSSH. If you're using Mac, then you can use SSH on Mac OS directly. So I'm using Mac, so let's go ahead and do a remaining setup. So now we need to change the permission of the SSH key which we downloaded on our computer. Let's copy this command and hit enter, and then now you can connect using SSH and EC2 user, and IP address is the public IP of your EC2 instance. Copy this, paste it here and hit enter and confirm. And you are connected to your EC2 instance from your machine. Now let's move on to next section, database configuration. Securing a MariaDB installation is essential to protect your database from potential threats. Copy the command and paste it here. There is no current password, so press enter. Set no. Change root password. Yes, save this password somewhere safe. You will need this later. Remove all anonymous users. Disallow root login from remotely. Remove test database and reload privileges. So you set up MariaDB. There is a root user and the password as you set up. Now let's access phpMyAdmin. replace your instance IP with the public IP. Hit enter and you can see your phpMyAdmin is up and running. Enter the root user and the password which you created in the previous step. Login and you can see you can access phpMyAdmin here. Now let's check our WordPress is accessible on our public IP address. Just copy the public IP address of our instance and paste it in the browser. Hit enter. As you can see, we are on WordPress setup page. Let's set up SSL certificate before we continue with the WordPress setup. On product page, let's go to SSL certificate section, cd to http dconf.d directory. You can see here the file your domain-com.conf. We need to rename this to our actual domain. So let's use move command and move your domain-com.conf to farmermatrimony-com.conf. Once you rename the file, use a nano editor and change the server name to our actual domain name. In our case, it's farmermatrimony.com, and also change the server alias. Save the configuration file. Next step is to change your domain DNS record to point to the IP address of your EC2 instance. Let's create an elastic IP address. So it is a static IP address and we can assign this IP address to EC2 instance so that every time you stop and start the instance, it won't change the public IP address. Click on allocate IP address. In border group, select US Est1, that's where our WordPress instance is. Select IP version 4 address and in tags, enter the tag name and click on allocate. The new IP address has been allocated. In the action, click associate IP address, select the instance, my WordPress website, select the IP address we just created and click on associate. So now if you go into the instance, you can see refresh, you can see the static IP address, the elastic IP address we created is attached to our instance. Now you can copy this IP address, go to Route 53, create a record, select a record type, enter the IP address and select the TTL, choose like 60 seconds, just in case if you need to change it, create records. And create one more alias record, enter www, click on alias, select alias to another record in this hosted zone, select farmermatrimony.com, simple routing, create records, and that's all. You pointed your domain to the IP address of EC2 instance. Once your website is successfully running, then come back and change the TTL to anywhere between 4 hours to 1 day for the domain. The next stage is run the SSL Certificate Setup. Copy and paste sudo certboot -- apache and hit enter. Enter your email address, accept, Y. If you need notifications, select yes. If you don't, select no. And it will ask you the domain names that you want to issue the SSL certificates. Select both, without www and with www. As you can see, it successfully received certificates and deployed on the server. So if you copy phpMyAdmin.com, hit enter, it takes you to WordPress setup page. So now we can continue with our WordPress setup here. Before that, let's log into phpMyAdmin and create a database for our WordPress website. So here we're going to create a WordPress _db database, and we're going to use a root user for demonstration purpose only, but we highly suggest to create a separate user for your WordPress database. Let's go back to WordPress setup, enter WordPress database name that we just created, root user, and the password. The host is localhost, and table preference if you would like to. And click on submit. It generates the wp-config PHP file, which we need to put it into our WordPress directory. Let's go back to our server, cd/var/www/html, and you can see the WordPress directory here. That's where our WordPress is sitting. So in this directory, we need to create a wp-config.php file. So let's copy this file, wp-config, copy the content it generated and paste it in here. Scroll up, you can see everything is copied. Save this file and exit. As you can see, it's successfully saved wp-config. Now you can go back to our website, refresh the page, and it asks you further setup details. Enter the site title, admin username. I just type admin. Password is randomly generated, or you can put any password. I'm putting ABCD1234 for testing, and your email address. You can choose to make it visible in search engine or not, and click on install WordPress. And yeah, it says success. You successfully installed WordPress on phpMyAdmin.com. Let's log in as admin. Enter the password you set up in a previous step. Log in, and you are in a WordPress admin control panel. You can see it's installed the WordPress 6.3 version. And if you open the website phpMyAdmin.com, you can see it's showing our WordPress website. Now let's set up a cron tab. Copy this command, paste it, and go into that cron tab file and comment this auto-renewal certificate command and save the file. Restart the cron D service, and that's all. So you set up SSL certificate, and you also make sure that SSL certificate get renewed automatically every 3 months. And you can see here it's running on SSL certificate, which is valid for 3 months, and it will auto renew this certificate before its expiry date. All right, so we are done with the setup, and you can see our website is up and running. I will not go in much detail about the WordPress. In phpMyAdmin, you can access WordPress DB. You can see here all the tables setup created. You can run your SQL queries. Sometimes you may experience some permission issues while installing plugins or themes. I would highly suggest you to read this article about the WordPress correct permissions, and if required, set it up on your server. Thank you for watching this video. If you encounter any questions or run into installation challenges, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below this video. Be sure to provide a detailed description of the issue for a prompt response. For your convenience, I will include all the important links in the video description. Thank you once more, and I hope you found this video enjoyable and helpful. If there is anything I missed, or if you would like to see more content like this, please share your thoughts in the comment section.